Well, Mr. Clarke, we have a comedian in this country, Joan Rivers. I don't know if you know who she is, but she always says, "Can we talk?" So can we talk? And I tell you, sir, that I am not just one of the greatest sci-fi fans in the world, but I have to tell you, I absolutely love 2001 and 2010. So what does that say about me?
Well, I guess it says that you're an intelligent woman, because I think any intelligent person can enjoy those two movies.
Oh, thank you very much. You live in Sri Lanka, huh?
Yes, I have for more than 20 years.
And what is it about Sri Lanka that entices you in such a way?
Well, I went there first because I'm interested in underwater exploring, which is a reflection of my interest in space exploring. And I did a book about the Indian Ocean, and in the course of writing that book, I fell in love with the country and the people and the way of life there, and I settled down there.
Good enough reason. Sounds perfectly
Another reason
logical.
is after 30 winters in England, I was happy to live somewhere where I could be warm.
Well, that I can identify with. I'm wondering now about this movie 2010. Are you pleased with what you're seeing?
More than pleased, I'm delighted.
And what about 2001? How did you feel when you saw that?
The very first time I saw it, I was a little baffled because I hadn't seen Stanley's ending. But now, of course, it seems perfect in its genre, and it's a landmark. And I believe the new film will also be a landmark.
The ending of 2001, I thought was, shall we say, esoteric.
Yes.
What is the explanation? Did Mr. Kubrick ever make an explanation of it?
No, we did start with explanations of everything, and of course the book did give all the rationale, everything that went on. And then Stanley discarded one explanation, one thing after another, and sort of stripped it down to the bare bones and achieved this ambiguous, tantalizing ending, which I'm sure was perfect because, well, first of all, everybody went back to see the movie again.
I'm thinking now of the arrow-breaking scene in 2010.
Which I think is really one of the most exciting things I've ever seen in any movie.
Did it exceed your expectations?
Oh, very much so, and I can still see those scenes. I was dreaming about them all last night.
And did you have any idea what they would be like?
Well, I described it like that, but I never hoped I would actually see it.
And when you saw it on screen, was it what you had envisioned in the writer's mind?
Yes, the technique had been changed. I didn't have the idea of the balut. I had a heat shield, rather like the Apollo spacecraft. But this is a very interesting idea that they used in the movie. And the jet propulsion laboratory scientists sort of suggested this, and it's worked out very well.
Was that Richard Edlund's creativity then coming into it?
Yes, Richard Edlund and the scientist from JPL, Dr. Tyrrell, who incidentally is the co-discoverer of the first planet of another sun right recently.
What do you think, Mr. Clarke, will be the next big breakthrough that we will see in either telecommunications or computers or whatever?
Well, I don't think that we need any big breakthroughs because it's hard to think of anything that we would want to do we cannot do with existing techniques now. They're so fantastically powerful.
Yes.
Maybe the next breakthrough is when we build computers into our brains, and if we want to learn a new language, if we want to speak a new language, just push in a memory module and you can speak French or Hindustani or whatever, and then change it. We would be plugged into our computers, literally.
Are you being facetious?
Not at all. No, a lot of people now take this very seriously.
Could we rush that along because my time's running out? I'd like to get in on that. I would like to also mention the fact that in 1948, is it not true that you proposed that we could have a satellite that would be used for telecommunications?
1945, yeah.
45,
yeah.
All right. And you said, though, that it wouldn't be until the 21st century.
I thought it wouldn't happen until the latter part of the century, because at the time, in 1945, I was thinking of manned platforms, because maintenance crews. I never imagined we would miniaturize equipment so much that we could do everything in a satellite, well, the size of the ones you saw them rescue from space this week. Miniaturization and the transistor and the marvels of the chip made it possible to do it with much smaller satellites.
But when you got your idea first, what did you base that on?
Well, my knowledge of space technology, which, the theory had been well developed long before 1945.
So you didn't originate the theory then?
No, the theory goes back to Sir Isaac Newton in a sense. I mean, the laws of gravitation.
Oh, come on now, Mr. Clarke. You're being too modest. We don't need to go back that far. But now, it was kind of your, the genesis of it.
Well, my concept was the idea of the communication satellite, the idea that we could use relay stations in space. And then I pointed out there was one particular orbit at a height of 22,000 miles where the satellite appears to be fixed.
Yeah, and that was your idea.
And I'm very proud of the fact that they're calling that the Clarke orbit.
All right. I finally got you to say it. Mr. Clarke, I've enjoyed this very, very much. What a thrill to get to meet you. And I say that coming from, as I said in the beginning, somebody who is not deep into sci-fi, but I really have enjoyed meeting you, and I enjoy very much your pictures and your
I'm so
books.
happy.
Thank you, sir.
Thank you.
What a nice interview. It's really nice. Okay. Why is it you have lived in Sri Lanka all this time? What was your reaction when you saw 2001? How do you feel about 2010? The arrow breaking scene, which is so spectacular, what is your reaction to it? Did the arrow breaking scene then turn out the way you had envisioned it in the writer's mind? Was that Richard Edlund's creativity then? What was it that gave you the What was it that led you to this proposed idea of satellite communications? Oh, come on now, Mr. Clarke. What will be the next breakthrough in communications? And now I'll just give you reactions. Okay. Thank you.